Alright guys, what is going on? Oink here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the what we do and what we don't know already about GT6. I'm just going to lay down basically the factual information that we have been given official confirmation from the producers, and you know, some of my opinions on those factual information. So we'll start off with some stats then. So we've got 1,200 cars confirmed. Obviously, I mean, I suspect that's a rough number. You know, it might be 1,204 or something like that. But that's basically the base amount of cars that are going to ship with the game, and 33 tracks, which includes 71 individual different layouts across all of those tracks. It's going to be releasing on PS3. And it's going to be releasing in the holiday season of 2013. This is the Christmas period, so my estimate on that is somewhere between maybe October, November to mid-December, but I suspect they'd be aiming to get it out before Christmas is basically the idea here. We're going to get a GT Academy 2013 / GT6 demo, so it's going to sort of double as the demo, similar to how they did before with GT5. They had that Academy app thing, so they're going to have that, which, you know, people who aren't concerned about Academy can just play it as the GT6 demo, but it'll also include the GT Academy 2013 in the whole thing, and that's coming out in July of this year, of course, before the actual game ships later on at the end of the year. Now, for me, I was kind of maybe hoping for it to be on PS4, but at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't bother me hugely. They've talked about it being very expandable, so the fact is, and he's also actually said in an interview that he doesn't think there's going to be a huge gap between GT6 and GT7 if they, you know, because of the engine that they've created for it and the way that they can adapt it. So that's okay. You know, at the end of the day, I think it's going to be great on PS3, and I'm looking forward to that, given that the release time is, you know, not that far away. So let's get into some more things that they've talked about. Remodeled suspension, aerodynamics, and tires, you know, like the tire modeling, things like that. So they've worked with some, you know, industry professionals in those fields to really nail down and remodel the way that the physics and the modeling for the tires and the grip levels and the suspension, all of the aerodynamics, all of the sort of physics for how the car actually moves around the track. All of that stuff has been totally redone, and from what I've read from all of the guys who were at the event and got to try the game out, it feels very realistic now. People have been, you know, comparing it very tightly to some of the better PC simulator games, so, you know, supposedly it feels really, really nice and really realistic, so that is obviously a massive thumbs up to them. Another big thing, which, you know, anyone who's played older GT5s and GTs and GT5 will know, well, especially for GT5, is that the UI has always been a bit sort of sluggish, at least. In GT5, a lot of complaints about the UI. So they've emphasised a lot about a brand new user interface and menu system, which is going to be quicker to get around, shorter loading times, and just generally more intuitive and a nicer environment to navigate the menus. Now, I've already talked about the expandability, but they've kind of talked about it in the sense that, you know, they can add lots of new online cars and tracks and all that kind of stuff. You know, that stuff's going to be pumped out monthly with monthly DLC. New tracks, new cars, all that sort of stuff, so that's great. They got some new rendering mechanics, and they got some like adaptive tessellation for the graphics, so supposedly the graphics are going to look better. I think they got better stuff for like longer distance rendering and things like that, so environments should look nicer, which is another great thing. We'll talk about the standard and premium cars now. So he has confirmed in an interview that there are still standard cars in the game, so these have not been taken out. GT6 will be featuring standard cars. However, he says they have been optimized and you know, they've been worked on to increase the quality level. Not all cars are going to have a proper cockpit view like the premium cars in GT5. That has been confirmed, that all cars aren't going to have a cockpit view. Obviously there will be many that do, but not every single standard car will have a proper cockpit, which is, in my opinion, a bit sad, but I mean, there should still be a good selection of, you know, top premium quality cars. what they have said is that the categorization of standard car has been removed. So all cars in the game are just all cars in the game. That suggests to me that generally the overall quality has been increased, but also even if there are still sort of lower quality standard cars, the fact that their standard doesn't separate them from any other car, which means that things like body kit upgrades, you know, spoilers and all of that kind of stuff is the same for all cars, whether they're premium or standard. Obviously in GT5 you can't add a whole bunch of, you know, additional bits to your car, whereas in this game, from what they've said, they are going to be able to, you know, all cars are going to be treated the same, as well as the fact that you'll be able to take standards into photo mode and photo travel, all that kind of stuff. So basically there's no limitations on the standard cars. They're treated just as any other car is treated in GT5, for example. Not to mention the fact that they have added apparently thousands of additional parts, wheels, all of that kind of stuff for customization, and supposedly you can create your own custom cars. Now they haven't exactly specified what you can do, so we haven't had word on, you know, is there a like a livery editor, that kind of thing. We haven't exactly got confirmation of that, but from the way that it's sounding, there's going to be some form of user customization, which definitely sounds like a step in the right direction. They've redone the course maker, so apparently new, you know, new way to make the courses, more customization for users. Apparently the environments expand for much further. They also showed a new location, Andalusia, which supposedly you can actually make courses using the streets that are already there. So you kind of recreate the course. You'll recreate a course out of pre-existing streets or something, so it's a little unclear exactly how that's going to work, but it looks like the course maker has been redone and is going to come with a new sort of angle to it, so that should be interesting. Now a big thing is community features, so we can now, you know, join clubs, set up proper championships, proper race series. You know, there was a good quote that they said something like, you know, lots of users put a lot of time and effort into making their own series, but now we're going to support that in the actual system itself. So that is a massive thing for guys who love the online racing and, you know, who race in series and all of that kind of stuff. So that is a big thing for the online section. And also they've talked about the multi-device functionality, so I guess that kind of links in with these community clubs and things like that, but as well as the fact that maybe you can do tuning and choose your cars. But yeah, multi-device, so things like your phone, PC, you know, laptop, whatever it might be, tablets. It's going to have some form of cross-device functionality there. Again, we haven't had any confirmation exactly what you're going to be able to do in the different, you know, applications for the different platforms, or the different devices. However, that is going to be in there, so that is also something which it sounds like a good thing to me. Anyway, those are just a few things. I mean, there's still little bits and bobs, you know. There'll just be some, you know, gameplay that had gone over the top here, and you can kind of have a look yourself. However, that's basically the key facts and figures that we've got so far out of Gran Turismo 6 and Polyphony Digital. So far, I mean, I'm super hyped up for the game, really looking forward to it. So let me know what you guys think. Put your comments in the section below. You know, I want to see what you guys think of it so far. Whether you're going to be looking forward to it, whether you think you're going to buy it, all that kind of good stuff. So, like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this has shed some light on any areas that, you know, you haven't found out about yet, or you haven't read about. Those are pretty much all of the main facts and figures that I've come up with. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.